Your environment shapes your income more than your talent, your ideas, or even your hard work. Most people don't realize how deeply the people around them influence the way they think, talk, act, and ultimately the way they earn. You can have ambition, you can have hunger, you can have a vision for your life, but if you're surrounded by people who don't believe in growth, who are comfortable staying average, who treat ambition like a joke, then sooner or later, you will begin to shrink yourself to match them. Humans adapt to their surroundings. It's biology, not opinion. If everyone around you earns little, complains often, wastes time, avoids responsibility, and numbs themselves with entertainment, then you're being conditioned every single day to do the same. Not because you're weak, but because you're human. Environment is stronger than willpower. Think about it. When you're around people who talk about problems, you become a problem-focused person. When you're around people who talk about ideas, money, business, solutions, you automatically start thinking bigger. When your circle works hard, you work hard without even noticing. When your circle wastes time, you waste time without feeling guilty. Wealthy people understand this deeply. That's why they're extremely selective with who they allow into their proximity. They guard their energy, their mindset, and their time with ruthless intention. The truth is, you don't need toxic people to ruin your life. You just need people who normalize small thinking, people who make it feel okay to do nothing with your potential, people who don't challenge you, don't push you, don't inspire you, and don't expect more from you. Mediocrity spreads like a virus. It's subtle, it's quiet, but it is powerful, and if you're not careful, it will infect everything: your goals, your self-image, your habits, and your income. Your income is a reflection of your standard. And your standard is shaped by your circle. If you're around people who constantly aim low, you will eventually do the same. If you're around people who see money as luck, evil, or impossible, then you'll unconsciously sabotage your own financial growth because you've inherited their limiting beliefs. But if you surround yourself with high-level people, people who think big, people who demand excellence from themselves, people who are building instead of complaining, everything about you begins to elevate. High-level people force you to grow. They make laziness uncomfortable. They make excuses embarrassing. They make you question your limits. They make you realize you're capable of more. They don't let you settle. They don't let you stay average. They don't let you drift. Simply being around them shifts your identity. You begin to adopt their habits, their discipline, their confidence, their mindset, and eventually their results. Wealth isn't just about tactics. It's about perspective. It's about beliefs. It's about who you become. And you cannot become a high-performance, high-earning individual while surrounded by low-performance, low-ambition people. The environment is the invisible hand shaping your destiny. If you choose the wrong people, the wrong hand pulls you down. If you choose the right people, the right hand pulls you up. You don't need to cut people off with anger. You don't need to create drama. You simply need to rise. When you level up your actions, your habits, and your goals, your old circle will naturally fall away, and a new circle aligned with your ambition will appear. Your income will follow, because money doesn't chase people. Money chases mentality, and mentality is shaped by proximity. Choose wisely. Your future depends on it. Comfort kills growth because it keeps you exactly where you are. It convinces you that you're fine, even when deep down you know you're capable of so much more. Comfort is warm, tempting, and easy. That's why most people never escape it. They build their entire lives around avoiding discomfort, avoiding hard work, avoiding difficult decisions, avoiding discipline. But what they don't realize is that comfort is a slow poison. It doesn't destroy your life overnight. It destroys your potential quietly, one soft decision at a time. The truth is, everything you want lives outside your comfort zone. More money, more freedom, more confidence, a better life. None of it comes from doing what's easy. Growth demands struggle. Success demands sacrifice. Wealth demands that you push yourself past the point where most people quit. Discipline is the bridge between the life you have and the life you want. It forces you to act even when you don't feel like it, and that's the difference between ordinary people and the ones who become wealthy. Comfort tells you, rest, you deserve it. Discipline tells you, work now so you can rest for the rest of your life. Comfort says, do it later. Discipline says, do it now because later is already taken by someone else. Comfort feels good today. Discipline feels good forever. When you rely on comfort, you rely on emotion, and emotions change constantly. You can't build a great life on unstable foundations. Discipline, on the other hand, is stable, it's consistent, it shows up whether you're tired, stressed, busy, or unmotivated. That's why disciplined people rise above everyone else, not because they're smarter or luckier, but because they don't wait for the perfect moment. They create progress out of imperfect moments. Look at anyone who has built real wealth. None of them got there by following comfort. They woke up early when others slept. They worked when others partied. They learned new skills when others wasted time. They invested when others spent. They said no to distractions, emotions, and excuses. Discipline became their default, not their punishment. The craziest part, discipline becomes easier the more you practice it. What feels painful at first eventually becomes normal, and once discipline becomes normal, results become inevitable. You gain momentum, you build confidence, you start trusting yourself, you start seeing progress, and progress is addictive. Once you taste that version of yourself, you'll never want to go back to the comfortable version again. Comfort gives you temporary pleasure but long-term regret. Discipline gives you temporary discomfort but long-term freedom. If you want to get wealthy, you cannot let comfort control your decisions. You cannot rely on motivation. You cannot wait for the right mood. You build your future with small, consistent, disciplined actions. Wake up earlier, work a little harder, learn every day, stop wasting time. Do the things you don't want to do not because they feel good, but because they build the person you want to become. Wealth is not a reward for comfort, it's a reward for discipline, and the day you choose discipline over comfort, your life changes forever. Focus is a superpower because it allows you to channel your energy, attention, and time into a single direction instead of scattering it everywhere. Most people fail not because they lack talent or ambition, but because they are constantly distracted. They jump from task to task, idea to idea, without ever going deep enough to see real progress. Focus is rare in a world designed to steal your attention. That's why it's powerful, and if you learn how to protect it, plan it, and use it deliberately, you instantly separate yourself from the majority. Your mind is not built to handle endless notifications, constant entertainment, and digital noise every second. But that's the reality we're living in. Every app, every platform, every advertisement is fighting for your attention, and the scary part, they're winning. Most people don't even realize they're losing hours every day, not because they're lazy, but because their focus has been hijacked. When your focus is scattered, your life becomes scattered. Your goals stay blurred, your habits stay weak, and your potential stays untouched. Focus gives you clarity, it gives you direction, it gives you control over your life. When you focus on one thing deeply, without interruption, you start making progress at a level you didn't even think was possible. That's why successful people obsess over protecting their time. They guard their mornings. They limit access to themselves. They say no more than they say yes. They understand that the more they can reduce distractions, the more they can amplify results. But focus isn't something that magically appears. You have to plan for it. You have to structure your days in a way that supports deep work. Wake up with a clear intention. Know your top priorities. Decide what actually matters and eliminate everything else. Don't rely on willpower alone. Build systems. Turn off notifications. Set time blocks. Create a workspace that pushes you into action instead of pulling you into distraction. When you plan your focus, you control your day instead of letting the day control you. Using your focus deliberately means investing it like money. You don't waste it on things that don't pay you. You don't pour it into drama, gossip, or mindless scrolling. You put it into learning skills, building projects, improving your craft, and taking your life to the next level. Every minute of focused work is worth 10 minutes of distracted effort. That's why some people can do more in 2 focused hours than others do in an entire day. The truth is, the richest people in the world aren't the smartest, they're the most focused. They dedicate their attention to one mission, one direction, one vision, and they follow it without getting pulled into noise. Their results compound because their focus compounds. If you want to become unstoppable, you have to treat your focus like the most valuable currency you own. Protect it from distractions, plan it like a schedule, use it with intention, because the person who masters focus masters their destiny. In a world where everyone is distracted, the focused individual becomes rare and rarity creates value. Your focus is your power, don't waste it.